What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Today we're going to be talking about the things that need to happen and need to come out in the first and or second patch that will be coming out for Madden 18. If you've been watching any of my videos lately, you know I'm not having a great time. I'm having some struggles in connected franchise mode. Some, I can probably throw that up to a learning curve, but a lot of times it is bugs, and the worst thing about what I'm going to talk about in today's video are bugs that were in last year's game, in Madden 17, that are there on release in Madden 18. That there, it just feels very, very lazy to me. So first and foremost, the reason why I haven't been overly harsh on EA is because of a tweet I'm going to put up right in the background. It's from Rex. Everyone probably knows who he is if you're on Twitter. He's like, the head Madden guy, the face of Madden. He basically said everyone knew when they were releasing the game that community influencers were the first to get early access. So the guys that get flown out to Florida to capture the game. Me, seeing that some of these guys, aren't really Madden guys, they play Madden for the first couple of months and they hop on to basketball or baseball, I was like, well, man, I play Madden all year round. My channel's getting some damn steam. How do I become a community influencer and be active? And he said here, be active in the community. Yes, I am. I upload every day. Be a Madden content creator. Yes, I do. I am that. Tweet devs constructive feedback. And I find that with this first patch, all the issues in the game, there's too much to tweet. And what you're seeing in the background is just some gameplay because there's too much for me to specifically find out each one of these bugs and capture it. We'd be here for 3 goddamn hours. So, and we're not going to breach the terms of services. We're not sponsored. Muttbucked is a troll, and it seems like some of the people that got the footage, they might be sponsored by coin sellers. That seems like that's breaking the terms of service. But neither here or there. I'm still want to be on EA's good terms. I figure, why not step up for the community? I've been looking on the Madden subreddit. They have had 4 different complaints threads. I've gone through that, gone for the popular ones that I personally have seen and can attest to that need to get done, and then other ones that I may not have seen, but enough people have that it should be brought to light. I don't know necessarily if I'm the person within this community that needs to, make this video to say these are the things that need to get fixed and addressed. I know, some of these surely have been tweeted to the developers on Twitter, but in case they haven't, let's put them all here in one video. I'm going to try my best not to swear because, swearing usually doesn't get the proper feedback from people like, oh, he's swearing, I can't watch this video. So I'm going to, apologies if a couple F-bombs or S-bombs squeak out here. But I will start right now. We're already 2 minutes in and people are like, get to the damn glitches. By saying I want to like this game. And the reason why I'm making this video and talking about all these glitches is because I want this game to be good. I have to play it for another 11 months or so. Why not make it a good, enjoyable experience? And I think if they patch and fix a lot of these things we're going to talk about, they can do it, at least in my opinion, get up to the same enjoyment level I had with Madden 17. They're not in any particular order. They're going to be all over the place. So that being said, number 1 is Jay Cutler finishes as Rookie of the Year, very similar to last year in Madden 17 when Percy Harvin would. Obviously, because they're a player that comes out of retirement, they kind of get lumped in there. For those of us like me that really likes to keep track of stats and awards and stuff like that, it's very frustrating to see the same bug from Madden 17 with the same scenario come back up. It just seems like they failed to address it. Comes off as very lazy. This is something that they should be able to patch right away. But the fact that it kind of passed through. All of the quality control and the quality checks seems kind of annoying to me. Number 2 is AI/sim in sim modes, play the moments. They miss extra points 70-80% of the time. I have heard from people that have kind of tested out, this is because extra points are being made from the 35-yard line. Again, this comes back to quality control. Surely, very popular, they advertise it as a cool way to play the game, play the moments. This would have been detected. It's happening with everyone, unless something happened with a glitch or something like that when the rollout of the game. This should not happen. There's no way that something this ridiculous, the fact that literally in any given game you'll miss 3 to 4 extra points costing you an entire field goal, it could cost you a whole game just because of this one bug, should have ever made it past the initial testing phase of this game. So that should be patched immediately. That is probably the biggest one right now of something that will be patched, but you hope to God that there's enough momentum on social media that they have personally heard this. So maybe if not, maybe this video will do that. Another one is players on the sideline look glitched out again. They have no names or accessories. This has been something that was in last year's game. I don't know if that's just probably how the game is. Maybe there's not enough memory or something like that to generate the name tags and accessories. I get that, but I mean, Xbox One's pretty powerful. This could be something that you might want to look at doing. Another one is penalty on extra point. So if you're going for an extra point after a touchdown, if there's a penalty on it for jumping off sides or something like that, it automatically, for me, the next play, you're going for 2 on the 35-yard line. So the fact that it seems like you can't even attempt the extra point. After a penalty, you're automatically going for 2 on the 35-yard line. doesn't make sense. Maybe this is how the people figured out with the AI missing the extra points that it is from the 35-yard line because of this penalty, and maybe these two things kind of correlate with each other. But for the love of God, this has to get patched right now. Another one is middle linebackers will fill out at the wide receiver spot in 5 wide receiver sets. Sometimes for me, I have seen it at tight end. I've seen Lawrence Timmons line up at tight end for me. I don't know why, and I've seen some other users on the Reddit forum saying it happens at wide receiver, like Luke Kuechly, if they're on the Panthers, will line up at wide receiver. Just seems like a bug that needs to get fixed out for sure. It feels like the XP packages won't purchase. People have said that it reportedly costs 3,000 more XP points than what's being advertised. So if it says, you know, to upgrade to a quicker superstar dev trade, it costs 15K. It actually costs 18K. Again, that seems like something that would easily be able to get patched. I feel like autofilling in your depth chart, like when you go to your depth chart, you hit Y or whatever on PlayStation to give your strongest lineup. Every time I hit that, it basically eliminates all quarterbacks from my lineup. It says no quarterbacks are listed and they're grayed out, like they're not dressing or anything like that. I had that issue in Madden 17. It's back again in Madden 18. Again, that is the most frustrating thing. I get bugs and stuff are going to happen, but anytime a bug that was there in Madden 17 and the exact same thing is in the initial release of Madden 18, it just comes off as very, very lazy, very, very poor quality control. We have the AI's game plan in connected franchise mode is exactly the same. Another thing that was creeping up from Madden 17. No matter what team you're going against, it seems like run, run, pass is the play call. Run on first, run on second, pass on third down. I'd say right now, 90% of the time that's the case. I mean, I see it when we play the Giants. Giants, one of the worst running teams, one of the worst offensive lines in football, but one of the best passing attacks. They will still run, run, pass every time. And I have a feeling that if you want to get really ridiculous and you made your team with one of the worst offensive lines in football, a 10 overall running back, but you gave yourself Tom Brady, Julio Jones, and Antonio Brown, they're still going to run, run, pass. So the fact that there's no way to implement a proper game plan for your AI to really just use the grades, those grades that you see on your depth chart, that way there it could generate even a slightly more, like even if it's a generic game plan, the teams that can pass, give me run, pass, pass. Even something subtle like that. It's just incredibly frustrating seeing run, run, pass every goddamn play in connected franchise mode. That needs to be patched. That's like a thing. 100% mark that as high priority. Quarterback sneak is really, really bad. It's really bad. It's bad. Your quarterback falls down like a sack of potatoes every time you go for it. We've tried it with Carson Wentz. I've heard users of Panthers fans with Cam Newton. I assume even Tom Brady. Those are some of the best guys at doing QB sneaks. You're not getting any yards on it. Every single time you're falling down, loss of 1, gain of half a yard, stuff like that. Especially QB sneak, that's a fun play to use. I think that should be tuned a little bit. That definitely can be tuned, so I expect that to come through sooner than later. We have zone coverages feel pretty underwhelming this year, and obviously you have some of the offensive cheese plays like the monster gun play in the Cleveland Browns playbook. And really on defense, it feels like if you're not bringing a blitz or doing man coverage, it's going to be an automatic conversion. So find a way to tweak the zones. I don't know how they could do that, but that's something that should be known. How about you add the long snapper position? Come on. John Dornbos, I feel sad talking about it as an Eagle fan, but John Dornbos belongs on my roster, but because he's just a 30 overall tight end, he's going to be gone. Oh, we had the long snapper spot. Show some love there. The injuries need to be toned down a little bit. I know John White has tweeted out some tips and stuff like that, how to adjust your sliders, because they basically, I guess, Madden implemented their injury sliders for 6-minute quarters. I know most people don't play 6 minutes. But even with that, it still feels pretty bad. Me personally, I haven't experienced this, but it seems like a lot of other users in their connected franchise mode, their team is dropping down like flies. So that's something that should be, tweaked a little bit. We have running back stick moves need to be toned down. Fat Rob on the Redskins can spin move me, and it works 100% of the time. Juke is very, very overpowered. Regardless of difficulty, all pro, all Madden, it feels like the exact same. As soon as they get to the outside, they're going to spin move your corner or safety or linebacker. It feels like they glitch through the player, and then they're gone in the opposite direction. Very, very unrealistic, especially in a simulation-style mode. It's not like we're just playing arcade or something ridiculous. In sim mode, the fact that RB stick moves feel like you're playing NFL Street, that got to get toned down for sure. Another one is the players won't show up in the stats. So if you have a guy that, gets 20-some sacks, he just won't show up in the stack sheet. It was an issue last year in Madden 17 that I hated. Like, anytime we get 20-plus sacks with Fletcher Cox, he wouldn't show up when you're looking at the league leaders in sacks. I've been told that's because if he's not in the top, I don't know, say 50 players or so for total tackles in the league, they won't show up for sacks and interceptions. That seems kind of unacceptable, especially because that was an issue in Madden 17 that people complained about. Seems like that'd be a simple tweak to make that so, it just shows straight up the best guys with sacks will show up when you want to sort by highest sack totals, highest interception totals, and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty frustrating, to be honest with you. Another one is misstats. For those of you that watched the debut episode of my Philadelphia Eagles Connected Franchise Mode, Monte Nicholson had a really cheesy interception on the Redskins. We talked about that. And then when we played them in week number 2, we brought that up. That was a storyline, how he made that interception. But we looked at his season stats. It didn't record the interception for Monte Nicholson. Very, very frustrating, especially because we hyped it up and we looked like an idiot. We had pie on our face because it wasn't recorded properly. So misstats plus just general not showing up for total sacks, total interceptions, that being, you know, in correlation with the fact that it was a Madden 17 issue, I don't know. I don't feel good about that. Another Madden 17 issue that's in Madden 18 is the offensive line glitch. Basically, what happens if your quarterback tries to get the defense to jump offside, the offensive line will false start. And you're like, okay, whatever, accept the penalty. The next play, the QB will try to get the defense to jump offside again. Another false start. False start, false start, false start. They will back up literally like 30 yards. And the only way to get out of this pattern is for the user to burn a timeout to get out of that pattern. That was in Madden 17. That was probably my biggest glitch that I could not get over. It's back again in Madden 18. Very similar to Jay Cutler finishing as a Rookie of the Year. How hasn't this been patched yet? It was an issue last year. This is like going on 2 years. It's been an issue in the game and definitely seems like something that should be able to be addressed, you know? And last but not least, it's probably the biggest one right now, is All-Pro and All Madden difficulties. There's just no real fun way to play this game right now, to be honest with you. All-Pro with top sliders, top community sliders on Operation Sports, it's easy mode. I would say I'm an above average Madden player. I dropped 45 points like nothing on All-Pro. But then when we play All Madden, I am usually an All Madden player. It's unplayable right now. Be it default or top community sliders, All Madden is just not a good experience right now. Looking at the pros and cons of All Madden, it feels like the offensive line in All Madden stonewalls the user 9 times out of 10. I like to use my defensive line, you know, be it Fletcher Cox, 90-some overall. Be it Brandon Graham, 97 overall. We could be going Brandon Graham up against a rookie 71 overall tackle. I will get stonewalled and held up for 10 seconds every single time on All Madden. Feels, just doesn't feel good, man. And then on the opposite side of that, user offensive line can't block for shit. It feels like anytime, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, I'm trying to go. I have the Eagles, tremendous offensive line. I know there's new offensive line ratings based upon like their awareness and stuff like that. Eagles are top of that. I could be going up against top 5 worst defensive line in Madden. Still will not convert 3rd and short, 4th and short running the ball. Inside, outside, tosses are bad. It just feels like the run game on All Madden on both sides is very, very bad. Very, very unbalanced. Because of that run, pass game plan, the AI is lethal on 3rd downs. Nearly automatic. More often than not, when the AI gets 3rd and long, it feels like, why even bother? You know, unless we get them down on a blitz, which is pretty much the only way I've been having success, they're going to convert on 3rd down. I've heard someone on the Reddit say the only way to really stop this is to use a defensive line and drop them right back into coverage right away. And if that's the only way to get around that, something needs to be done. Something needs to be patched to get a more realistic simulation-style experience on All Madden that doesn't make it feel like, you know, a user had the best way of describing it that encompasses what I'm feeling. It feels like the higher difficulty you play, so if you go from All Pro to All Madden, you're taking that big step up. The higher the difficulty, the worse your team gets versus, you know, the better the other team gets. That's the way it feels. It feels like your team, when you go to All Madden, you know, say your team's at All Pro. You have a 90 overall team. You're a 90 overall at All Pro. But when you go to All Madden, it feels like they're just going to dumb your team down to an 80 overall. All your good players seem to underperform, while all the computer players seem to overperform. And that is definitely a balance that needs to be found. A yin and a yang needs to be found in All Madden to get a really good user experience. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm trying to be a good community leader. I'm trying to be a guy that's saying what the community wants to hear and what needs to be said and what needs to be heard from the EA developers. This is a long-ass video, almost 15 minutes. But I felt it was a video that needed to be made. I don't know if it's pointless. I don't know if it's going to fall on deaf ears. But I feel like, you know, looking at Rex's tweet, knowing that I want to become a community influencer, I think that this is a step in the right direction. So I don't know if you guys want to tweet this out at people, get it to, you know, the powers at be, if you will. Or even you can come in the comments and vent. Maybe I missed something that you guys really want to talk about. I can make a future video on. But with, you know, you could assume the first patch coming sooner than later. I would say I think it'd be acceptable to see at least half of these things patched in the game, and it would make, for me personally, I know a lot of you guys, the Madden 18 experience a lot more enjoyable than what it is right now. Because right now, man, I feel like, you know, as a kid, you cannot pry me away from Madden. 2 months, 3 months in, I'm still playing Madden every night. Right now, I mean, I can't wait to play Overwatch. I can't wait for people to pop on and play Overwatch. Can't wait to just go do something in NCAA, do something else and play Madden. And I think a proper patch could certainly go a long way in bringing my enjoyment back up. But that is all for me here today, guys. If this is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. More importantly, leave a comment in the comment section below with how you feel that your Madden season is going and what you think needs to be patched in and or changed. That's realistically an option. And until next time, C4, saying peace out.